core that you can also get. And, well, Lina's adds a bit of that hybrid potential though, and some heavy burst, great wave clear, can fry her way through some PL illusions maybe pretty quick. But I don't know, Scant, how we feeling about this Lina grab? Pretty spicy way to finish out the CIS reject draft.
I mean, it's always going to be a good pick against Shadow Fiend, I think, because you're going to scale into that Aghanims, and Shadow Fiend depends quite a bit on his BKB to survive later on in the fights. It's a hero that can lane reasonably well against Shadow Fiend, can't even win the lane. Most heroes can't say that. So I think I like the Lina pickup quite a lot here. For Vega Squadron, I'm still not sure. I mean, Solo's Nightstalker is still there, but I don't know if it's actually what they want right here. And funnily enough, it feels sort of similar in the previous game, where I said Nightstalker didn't have anything really to combine with and make those early kills, but OG made it work. They just use it to control the map, have the vision, make space, and Solo's certainly good at doing that even from the support position.
Oh goodness.
But it will be the Shadow Demon.
Oh, the classic? Nah, I'm kidding, of course, but that's something we get to see very often. Usually, like, the Bane, you know, has been kind of filling the spot that we see a lot of, where Shadow Fiend used to kind of rule, but an interesting grab here. Got the overlay, people, don't worry. As we get underway here, it's going to be Vega versus CIS Rejects here. Game number 1 of a best of 3. This is just our first day of Stage 2 action. This is where we get down and some of the Phase 2 squads roll out and pressure the group stage, look to move on forward and hopefully get to that Belarus LAN at the end there. Looks like we'll be leading off with a bit of a pause here, but
yeah, Purge against Sven is very, very good. That's the obvious go-to, but as you said, there's other heroes. Bane's also got something that goes through BKB, but I guess he has to channel it, so Shadow Demon's just once off. To me, the most obvious thing is that the Shadow Demon just goes really well with the Dazzle. It's like, it's a pretty cheesy combo the team's been running since the beginning of time. Disrupt into Heal Bomb, and that's, it's one that actually, despite the fact that it's old, seems to catch people unawares. Like almost every game I see it, there's gonna be this one time where Dazzle's heal just like blows someone up and they didn't see it coming, so we'll look out for that, I guess.
They got some pretty good level 1 fight here. We got 2 squads and their classic Mexican standoff here, eyeballing each other from across the river. A lot of emphasis on this bottom rune here, while they'll leave SlayeR behind with Pasha to go for the top one. We'll see if we're going to have an early first blood here. And we'll have an early fissure at least, and everyone can watch as Solo makes his way around. Oh, sidesteps the shard, and is he going to go for it? No! He's like, I'm not going to do that. Hell no. Forbidden fruit. CS will take that one up, and SlayeR will take the top one. They get both. This game's over.
That's yeah, it's quite interesting because Solo was avoiding the snowball, and then he saw the ice shards, and he was like, "Oh, they tricked me." But ice shards actually causing some trouble for him here as he continues to get harassed by both supports. He's the one with the boots though, so he's well, actually Tusk and Shadow Demon both have boots.
This is gonna be annoying here. Goblak, you know, for his innovative drafting here, is going to be playing what looks like much more of an aggressive Tusk, helping out his mid lane. The classic try-mid here from Vega as they lead in. And, oh, I got to turn off spectator chat there. Okay, there we go. They're going to just harass a bit, try to keep this Lina back at bay, but sure enough, Solo is going to find his new home, what looks like at the top lane there. So they don't allow this SlayeR to become too much of a problem too early.
Yeah, and actually, if you throw the Phantom Lance into the mix, we talked about the Shadow Demon Dazzle combo. If Phantom Lancer casts his Doppelganger with the Disrupt and the Heal Bomb, that's like very easy to surround and deal like max damage essentially early on with the heal levels. But for now, Dazzle's actually staying at that mid lane, just taking care of SF, which is, as I said during the draft, Dazzle's kind of like, I don't think people have. Yeah, there's nothing more to say, right? Dazzle's the hero that protects Shadow Fiend.
He's Shadow Fiend's bitch. I mean, we're not gonna pussyfoot around too much. He's gonna come here, harass a bit, go back, make some stacks, and he's gonna hope that his big boy continues to get a bit bigger. But you know what? I do that role very often in my pubs, and if it's for the greater good of the game, I have no problem at all. And I'm sure Sema feels the same way as he gets ready to make up another sweet and succulent stack right now for his boy Shadow Fiend. So it's just about, you know, do you think CIS are gonna do anything about it, or they gotta imagine this stuff is just kind of happening. This is so cookie cutter, you know.
I think they'll just get their own stacks and be like, Sven or Lina can farm them. I don't think CIS rejects are necessarily that worried about Vega Squadron getting early farm if they're getting early farm as well. I think actually, to be honest, going into the mid game, CIS rejects are probably a bit more scary in terms of like power to initiate and just burst people down. Lena's gonna have the Yule, she can do it. Slaughter's gonna have a blink at some point, he can do it. There's that Sven, already get a blink, there's the Tusk. Winter Wyvern ulti, there's actually just like so much control coming out of CIS rejects lineup, so I think as long as they get their own items, they're gonna probably feel happy.
Yeah, lots of control, lots of initiation, potential setup here. They can go on 2, 3-man hit squads here and get the job done. And meanwhile here, comparing offlaners, Mag 3-1 to SlayeR's 4-3. Mag is, as you can see, under a bit of pressure. He eats the hammer and, well, here goes the shards. He might be able to still make it away, but no, not if Goblak has anything to say about it. They surge on forward now, and they're going to get the last hit. Goblak picks that one up, and that will be your first blood, and it will be on Mag in the bottom lane.
This, by the way, this ward placed by Vega Squadron, are you looking at this? That blocks the camp, but like doesn't actually show anything.
Which
Is
one?
an interesting one. I mean, I guess there's a. I can't actually draw. It's at the pull through camp on the Radiant side.
Yeah.
There's like a dire ward inside the trees.
That was nice of you.
Oh, I see it. Oh, wow. What is that
Usually
doing there? Okay. I couldn't even see it within the
Yeah,
trees.
it's just to block the camp, because usually you place it a bit to the
Yeah,
right,
for the
but
pull
then
through.
it could be countered. Yeah.
What they didn't anticipate, though, is
that's another-
Goblak is all about getting kills instead. He's like, I'm not going to make stacks and worry about the lane equilibrium. We're now going to be on the move. And they're going to string another kill on the Mag in the bottom lane.
The chill in the air. It's a good day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Tusk is a really good hero. I mean,
Yeah, you know?
Sven gets stunned and Tusk's just like, I'll put him in a snowball, he's coming straight at you, forget about that stun.
Walk it off. Except in their case, let's roll it forward a bit. But Vega have their plan Bs here. You know, they got their stacks now. No one is going to farm through it. We know this guy to be a beastly Shadow Fiend, and he'll know what to do appropriately, you know, with it at this point.
So,
But it's punishing for Mag at the start. This is a Earthshaker core who's take a bit to come online here. The days of a blink are going to be far in the future.
Radiant's top tower
I'm going to
is
ask you a
under
pretty
attack.
random question that you almost certainly don't know the answer to, but if you do, it'll make my day. So, do you know why Mag has nitrogen at the end of his name? Because actually Solo had that tag for like the last couple weeks. It was Solo nitrogen, and now it says Mag nitrogen. So, like, what is the significance of nitrogen?
I have no idea. Is that like a Russian sponsor, maybe? I'm not too sure.
It's just, it's like he passed the back on to, I don't know. I have this like weird theory in my head that like it's whichever player's like carrying at that time, they just like give them the nitrogen tag. It's like, it makes me think of Nust. Did you ever play like Need for Speed? Or...
Yeah.
It's like
He's
that
gonna
player
take
can
off.
trigger this.
Yeah. Except he's not going
Yeah.
very fast. He's getting crushed twice. So I think of the nitrogen
Yeah,
that when
that
you
does
shake it
get-
up, it blows up. And he's just, yeah, it's combusting a bit in the bottom lane here. Uh-oh, top lane. What do we got here? A little bit of a fiesta. Seema's gonna get crushed up, and now he's gonna be forced to run. He does have that grave, so after eating a few smacks, he'll be able to walk away, no problem. And it looks like instead AfterLife is just going to make his business elsewhere here. Oh, he eats a couple of raises though. Doesn't like that, and no one gets the snipe with the final raise, and little SlayeR is going to pay for harassing that Dazzle.
Yeah, and that ward just made that kill essentially, because no one sees the SlayeR coming, and he's like, okay, I can set up all 3 raises. And definitely getting the ward paying dividends. Well, ALWAYSWANNAFLY is actually snuck in past the ward. They know he's there.
Yes.
So what's his plan for getting out now?
He doesn't.
I
He's like, oh, fly mode.
Yeah.
Go, go, go! Off to Never Never Land. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. No one's got a haste, and he's just gonna smack him down. Boom! 2 raises,
Dire's bottom
effortless
tower
grab,
is
and
under
they're like,
attack.
something's fishy here. I wonder if he came in and planted a ward. They're like, maybe not the obvious spot. So no, actually he did put it in the obvious spot. So the double mind game on that one. Solo will have to sentry the high ground if he wants to pick that one up.
Dire's bottom tower
gonna do it.
is under
Yeah, I
attack.
think he's gonna find it.
Well, he has to get vision up there. He can't. Oh, see, they can't see it now.
He's got his
Ah. Oh, how many of those is he gonna have to spend? He's got it though. All right. So unfortunately, the efforts of ALWAYSWANNAFLY are gonna be all for nothing, and he ends up just kind of feeding over, and the game will break back even. Scant 2-2.
Yeah, it's quite an I mean, the reason he didn't look for that ward initially is it's really obscure actually to put that cliff ward this early in the game.
Yeah.
But I suppose that they just want to see no one stacks and when he's farming them, how big they are.
Oh, look at this. Solo runs into AfterLife here. We'll hit him up with the disruption and walk away as if nothing ever happened. And AfterLife will be forced to take the long road again. This time he's got company as they all head towards the mid lane here. No one. That shard range is ridiculous. If that would have caught him, I would have just kind of had enough of Tusk. But doesn't catch this time. They have the presence. They have obviously the ward on the ground right there. And CIS are going to be stuck running around once more.
I'm wondering what no one's gonna go for this game. I think it is probably a mech game, even though that Shadowblade build has become more and more popular recently. I just feel like you rush Shadowblade on SF in this game, and it's so easy for you to run into a sentry ward or something and just get totally blown up. Like, I think he does need to bulk up a little bit.
Oh, they almost got Mag. He's able to step away, not get hit with that last bit of cleave, and he will salve up. It looked like Mr. Ramses was trying to TP away. Canceled his TP, decided to man up on the Mag and almost got him, but couldn't quite finish him off. But we'll see steady as she goes here. Force switch over to Networth still. The top is going nicely for Vega here. Both No One and Pasha have the highest CS in the game right now, and I don't know, still not convinced, not seeing enough of that early aggression that we've already saw from CIS. Now they are just farming, my goodness, a big old stack here for Mr. Iceberg. This will be his Yules. Oh, top lane though, Scant. We got trouble. Yeah, always want to fly. Gonna be caught out and taken down again.
This game feels to me a bit like everyone's just like gradually heading towards their item timings, and there's gonna be a point in about 5 minutes time where it just becomes a bloodbath, where we just like,
Yeah.
I think, where both teams gonna feel confident to take a fight, and it's gonna come down to execution.
I like that. That means we just get right to work, and then we get to find out who's the manliest of them all when the dust settles. But we'll have to see who's going to be the more confident one in this. For now, a persistent Sven is going to be happy to take down this tier 1 bottom lane. Mag, early fissure. Will he get himself in there for the deny, though? Oh, this is the big moment. Oh, what are you going to do? You want to stay? 2 TPs now. They do opposite sides to try to reduce the timing on it. But he has already walked back and away. The tower will be denied. Cost a couple of TPs, but Vega are going to rob them of that extra bit of gold.
And that's a good catch, that opposite side TP thing. Like, that's, I mean, I know the mechanic, but you hardly ever see people actually do it, right?
Yeah. Like, how do you communicate? Because the thing is, it's like, you got to already communicate, let's go down there. But how do you say, let's go down there? And I'm going to take the top corner, you take the bottom left corner, you know? So it's like, I can't imagine how they have like a code, or maybe it's just got to be one of those things that you just know. You see the one TP in, it's like, I'm going first, I'm going to take this far end.
Oh, no one.
And no one may be in trouble here as the shards will fly out. Snowball follow-up, he scoops up one little treat, and look at AfterLife, he's going to get a good choke point slam. Or not. There it is. Beautiful connection on the 2. Laguna follow-up. No one's going to be going down now. Goblak could be in a bit of trouble here as Pasha will re-engage and gets the swipe through on that one. AfterLife pops a sprint. My goodness, the furthest Spirit Lance ever will connect, which will force out the stun. And they will not be able to play catch-up here. And oh, never mind. There's a CemaTheSlayeR who does not have Shadow Poison, or Poison Touch rather, unfortunately. So won't be able to get the finish there. Bit of a hot mess, Scant, but on the way out, it looks like Sema's going to be planting a nice little FU ward to block out the Ancient Camp. And it's going to be a trade apiece here, but I would have to give the slight nod, of course, to CIS. They get no one down. Nice grab for him.
It's kind of funny that he's called the Slayer, because he like almost always plays heroes like Dazzle, where there's not that much slaying going on. It's like protecting more. Should be like Sema the Protector.
Just Sema the Support. Sema, anything.
Doesn't have that ring to it though, does it?
Yeah, not really. It's a badass name. I mean, I don't even know if we're saying his name properly. That, you know, Sayuma.
I think we're nuts, but I'm not completely sure how to say it correctly. So I thought, why make a fool of myself? I'll just like read it phonetically. That was actually a thing. I think Misery started that back in the day. Misery the Slayer. There used to be like a bunch of players that did that. I think it was Misery who first did it.
Oh, I never even thought of that. Yeah, CemaTheSlayeR, Misery the Slayer. They could be brothers, but for now, this brother might be going down. Oh, what? A heal bomb for the Shallow Grave. Now, he may lose his life, but at least they get a nice exchange out of it for the cost of the Dazzle. They'll get a core and the Slardar. And they're not done yet. Here comes No One, a.k.a. Noon, as he steps in and gets a double raise. Will eat the stun. Walk in comes out Mr. Mag. The nitrogen has exploded as he drops down the dunk. And they're just going to wipe the floor quickly with the Sven. Ramses is going to be going down. No one picks up that kill. Makes it a double all day, Scant.
Yeah, and Vega Squadron sort of coming together, showing some insights into the plan in their draft, and that's before the mech pickup. Now they've got the mech. I wouldn't be surprised if they just force these kind of confrontations again, although right now it's being forced on them by the slaughter.
Oh, Laguna, Dragon Slave, no one's got to run. He's amped up. They got the vision. Mag, don't pass. Oh, turns back, gets one raise. He could kill him off. Oh, this is bad now. Ouch, Iceberg.
Dire's bottom
He
tower
will go
is
down,
under attack.
overextending a bit. Vega have regrouped, and the danger is out. Always want to fly. He's going to have to, well, stick to his name and get up to the skies right now to step back and away. But look at this, potential turnaround. Just a little bit of trade, but man, Vega get a nice little turnaround treat as they finish off the Lina. Pull ahead now 8-4.
No one, or Noon, or whatever we're gonna call it, like he's had a superb game so far. Just like, I mean, his Shadow Fiend's always good, but I feel like he's hit every raise, and like he has these moments, like in the previous fight, where he'll turn back just enough time to hit the one raise, then turn and run again to dodge the next stun. Like, really just showing perfect control of his hero in all of these interactions, I feel.
Radiant's bottom tower
Alright,
is under
back at mid
attack.
lane, Iceberg makes his return. Figured he would already had his Yules by now, but that can't help but make me question. They decide to take these fights and do this stuff, Scant, when he just needs to take one gosh darn moment to finish off his Yules. Even now, they're looking to square up, and he could have his Yules in just a moment, but they're making it go. Brilliant sidestep from Pasha, and he's going to be able to creep out the other way. Can't help but wonder if only he had a Yules when he hopped over the other side. Maybe a setup could have been there, but oh well.
Yeah, I think that the chase at the top rune just was, they thought that they'd caught Shadow Fiend out alone, and to some extent they had. They hadn't seen the mech yet, just picked it up, and they didn't know the Shaker was nearby. But you're right, the focus right now for Iceberg should be just finish the Eagles before you do anything else, and he's super close to it,
Dire's
so
middle tower
we're
is
gonna see it
under
soon. In the
attack.
meantime, looks like Vega Squadron making a move on the tier 1 top.
Yeah, they bullied back AfterLife here.
Radiant's top
No one even
tower
sweeps
is
him from
under
behind,
attack.
only to kind of wipe out the
Radiant structures
creep
are
wave, and this will
fortified.
easily secure a tier 1
Dire's
tower
middle tower is
for
under
Vega
attack.
Squadron. Now, I'll call him a little bit of damage of a tier 2 bottom lane. Oh, look at this, even going
Radiant's
God
top
strength
tower
mode
is
now.
fallen.
Ramsey's
Dire's
really
bottom
hammering it
tower
home
is
here.
under attack.
Having to get some early siege damage, but I think Vega's still
Radiant's
happy
top
with
tower
where they
is under
stand.
attack.
Even though he is invised up, it looks like Ant's damage has spotted out no one here. And AfterLife will kind of play a very patient game here, but Vega will not. They are eager and waiting to fight a fight, and they move in, and they're going to actually get the tip right there. We'll get the fissure onto AfterLife, and well, he'll still manage to kind of squeak away. And I guess with that, Vega will finally step away from trying to get
Radiant's
something done in the
tower
top
is
lane.
under attack.
And
Dire's bottom
no one
tower
is
is under
heading
attack.
closer and closer to his BKB. And while there's many things that pierce BKB or hold that thought, the third check is getting snowballed.
He got uppercutted, though. Oh, he's gone. That was hard to watch. He goes down, big Laguna. Hey, look at this, a Winter's Curse onto Solo. And they're going to get the finish. Requiem to Fly is a response from Vega, but it's not going to be enough. And there goes the bolt. And they're going to get the connection onto no one now. And he could be going down. Oh, nice little grave from the Slayer. But now the Slayer is going to pay for it with his life as he gets uppercutted. Still, they'll take no one down. 4 drop all day from the side of Vega. CIS Rejects, with the most promising fight of this game, earns them a near 3K net worth
Radiant's
swing.
bottom tower is under
My
attack.
goodness.
Yeah, all starts when Mag gets caught out of position. He's been positioned so well. I mean, he got caught a bunch of times in lane, but since the lane stage, his Earthshaker's always kind of been behind, ready to cover with fissures. And this time he goes down without being able to protect anyone. And that's kind of the signal for CIS Rejects to go, and they're still going in this mid lane.
Goblak has something. He has some beef with Solo, apparently. He just wants to roll in and get him, but now they might have gone too far. Oh, they get the kill nonetheless. Nice grab with the shards from Goblak. Is going to pick that one up. And oh, hi, how you doing? Iceberg.
It's not the heat.
Rolls up with an Invis rune and just gives Mag a facial with a
Radiant's
Laguna.
bottom tower
And they just
is
take
under
another 2
attack.
down. Ruthless play.
Yeah,
Mag has to take
Vega
a
kinda-
moment. He has to take a moment after that. I'm like, whoa, what? What just happened? Let's take a pause.
It's one of those, like, it almost feels like one of those pub dynamics where someone important in your team gets caught out, and then like it leads to a chain reaction of everyone else trying to save everyone else, going down, and then like 2 people come in later for the return kills, but like they're alone, so they also die. And really, I feel a huge swing in the game, which is almost completely unnecessary for Vega Squadron. It could have just been Earthshaker and maybe the tier 1 and nothing else.
Well, CIS Gotta be super satisfied here, but I feel like they just want to keep going. It's working out for them now, but I don't want them to get too aggressive that they start stubbing their toes. They still need to kind of step back and get the essentials here. Got AfterLife, who's getting a lot closer to his Blink Dagger, so I would love to see him finish that one off. It could be huge for them in the mid game. Now we do have Iceberg already has his Yules, but I mean, what do you suppose he picks up next here? Do you get frisky and do a Shadow Blade build up? I don't know Iceberg that well, how he likes to play his Lina, obviously, but Bloodstone, Yules.
The Shadow Blade build up is the Shadow Blade build up is very popular in the CIS region actually, which is why I might consider it. I think that Ags is the obvious choice here though, because he hasn't actually seen, but he's got to know that no one's going to build inside BKB. And actually, before that fight started, I was about to say that he's going to have BKB soon, and there aren't any responses to it. And I thought that Shadow Fiend's relatively fast BKB would have just like turned the pace of the game in favor of his team. But after that fight, if Lina does build into the Ags, it's not going to be that much later than the BKB itself.
Yeah, this could be trouble for no one here. But obviously, their first priority is getting that BKB complete. Maybe if they get that, they get a quick go. They have the mech already. They can try to catch out CIS before they have everything on ready for them. Ramsey's nowhere near a BKB for himself if he was thinking about going for that. But hey, Always Wanna Fly has a Glimmer Cape. That's a nice little supportive grab for him and his team. Goblak seems to be the one to try to finish out the mech, but he still needs a bit of time here, about 800 gold. And it's just going to come down to proper item timing. If they wait and they get the Agnums on Lina, if that is what she's going to be going for, she's still holding that chunk of gold. As you said, it will easily fade out any sort of relative BKB, and they'll have a mech themselves. And I'd have to say, CIS might have a pretty good shot when it comes team fight season.
Yeah, I think a lot hinges on, you know, what value, what work do Vega Squadron get down during this window now. Shadow Fiend's got BKB. Currently, there's not much of a response. Okay, she goes for the Shadow Blade. It is the CIS special.
Oh, man.
And it is going to help to, like, just kind of threaten in general. But I do think if Shadow Fiend positions well in a fight, BKB plus Shadow Demon and Chicken Dazzle keeping him alive, it's difficult to see. Sure, Winter Wyvern could ulti him, but where's the damage coming from? Is it just the Sven God Strength attacking with the Amp? I suppose that also goes through BKB. It just feels a bit clunky. It feels like there isn't a neat plan to deal with the Shadow Fiend anymore.
Yeah, I can't help it. As you said, the CIS way, and I couldn't help but feel like that would be something she'd go for. It's why I suggested it first, like, oh, the Shadow Blade, and like, and then you mention it, it's like, I think Ags would have been a great choice with the item timing and them already being kind of that far ahead. I'm nervous now. She better make some good work out of the Shadow Blade, because appropriate time BKB, and she suddenly is just not going to be as much of a use. And with already the defensive supports that Vega have, it's going to be very hard to finish off a powerhouse like no one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens
Going
here.
for the smoke, they want to make good use of it. And that's, I mean, so G is the one who does it the most. The Lina Shadow Blade does it almost religiously in almost every game, and usually makes it work very, very well. But that's G. And we'll have to see. Does Iceberg do the same in this game? Does the smoke work at the moment? If they were to smoke up the ramp, they'd be running into pretty much the entire enemy team. Don't think it would work for them.
Oh no, yeah.
But where else are they going with the smoke?
Yeah, I don't know. They're hoping that Vega are doing Roche or something. They're trying their best, scouting out, using the sigil here. No one's like, that's it. I'm gonna go see what the hell's happening. They get their proper sentry put down. Sigil still sees Roche. Some little ogre wants to square up here. No one says, get off my face. Bop him back, and look at that. He's got armor and everything. He laughs at you, and he'll take post inside the pit. This is just one of those high-tension moments right here. Both teams putting a lot in favor and put a lot of value, rather, into this Aegis. And how important it's going to be for them.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's worrying for both teams, because there's, even though I would say CS Rejects have more initiation power, there's ample initiation power on both sides, and that's before the Earthshake even has his Blink Dagger, so you don't want to be the team that's caught bunched up in the pits, no matter which side you're on, yeah.
But you can't afford to stay there a long time without farming out, you know, so they decide that they will step off, find their nearby farm, but not go too far. Don't overextend our leash. But Ramses will take this moment to use his God Strength. He's going to go right in on the farm. It does not look like, based on the vision, or do they have vision? Oh, they actually have this pretty deep ward here. They're going to see Slardar near the ancient camp. If they had any sort of intel that Sven was already committing all his stuff, they might go for the Roche, but doesn't look like they will right now. Just farm out the lanes.
I think that Vega Squadron 1 mag to finish this Blink Dagger before they force the issue.
Oh, for sure. He's close. He still has a lot of work to do here, and already
Is under attack.
CIS are flirting around this mid lane. He's desperate for
The
that
mag
point.
finished on Goblak. I think is it on the courier? No, it's not on the courier. It's at the base. And now Lina is building into that Aghanim Scepter, so at this rate it's really not a big deal because we're not seeing work being done by the BKB just yet, and you know I do feel like there's a window in which he needs to do that work because once Lina has Ags, it does mitigate quite a lot of the effects of the BKB.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time gauging like who the pressure is on to really make that kind of jump, and with a point like that, at first I thought it was like CIS to like take advantage of now having this mech and taking advantage of a Shadow Blade, but you're right, without even putting the BKB to any sort of use and allowing her to just build up into an Ags regardless, he could still just run into that trouble nonetheless. We'll move on to the next peaking window here for CIS Rejects on when they can take a solid fight. First, they're now pressing forward here. Double sentries even committed in the mid lane for this. Looks like they want to try to take this tier 1 access point. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Really amp damage here. This is not an Aegis Shadow Fiend who's being dangled out front, but there is a disruption save. Solo's going to eat the Laguna and the rest of the damage there from Iceberg. Huge Winter's Curse, though, coming out from ALWAYSWANNAFLY, and Vega could be in big trouble. Falling back and away, Sol's going to be going down first. No one stands, plants, tries to raise off, but will be going down. Gets the help from the Cold Embrace, and look at that. 3 go down from Vega. Mag, one of the lone survivors here, going to try to etch himself out. Makes it away. Do they rush it for Roche? It looks like they are. They're going to run right in there and take this opportunity to get the Aegis.
Exactly the same reason I said that earlier on CS Rejects couldn't smoke up to the high ground. I feel like even more so Vega Squadron can't be starting a fight running up high ground with the vision disadvantage because CS Rejects just have too many tools that you have to worry about. And yeah, Mag managed to blink in an ulti pretty much before anything got done, but he wasn't on everyone, he wasn't controlling everyone. And that's, I feel like Vega's plan in this game essentially is, if the game goes late, PL gets big, there's not that much to deal with PL, there's pretty much just the Sven.
Yeah.
So at that point, if Earthshaker and Shadow Demon just deal with the Sven, fine, PL can maybe do most of the rest of the work, but right now it's not like that at all. Right now, Earthshaker needs to like control everyone for a good few seconds for his team to win fights.
Ain't gonna be easy. I wonder now if Vega have to try to fire back with their own answer. I mean, still yet to really get some huge use out of this BKB after getting caught out at that point. And now we have a Sven who's going to be putting together his own personal BKB. This comes after Pasha finishes out his Diffusal Blade now. So if they're able to get a lot done, which CIS seem to have thrown together a nice little lineup where it's like a one-punch knockout kind of a thing where they're hoping to get a huge blow, taking down 2 to 3 plus members and being able to just have an advantage in numbers. We'll have to see. Very crucial here for Vega now.
And it is the Sven build that I think Arteezy and a few other players have been favoring recently. No Mask of Madness, rather Helm of Dom, it's the SNY. It's much tankier. It's not really a burst Sven as much as a sustained Sven. Stay alive in the fight, dish out the damage for a longer period of time, get more than one Warcry off to keep your team tanky. And I think it's definitely the right choice, because if he had gone for the bursty sort of Mask of Madness approach, there really is that chance of him being burst down at the start of the fight himself, and his team doesn't look that great if he goes down early in a fight.
Now tier 1 in jeopardy here. Doesn't look like Vega are gonna bother responding. They found their own answer in the mid lane. Party started for now, but there goes a jump in. I was just trying to get a hold of AfterLife, but he goes for the blink in, gets an early amp damage here on the no one. Perhaps looking to soften them up a bit, but no turnaround yet. CIS continue trucking on forward here, and they're gonna go for the tier 2. Vega, are they gonna race a bit? They're heading down mid lane like they want to. And they start doing work on that tier 2 while the top tier 2 is already going down. CIS are going to be claiming 2 towers straight. It's looking like a mini drag race here, Scant.
Yeah. I think Vega are just trading because they don't want to fight outside their base. So it's actually very good that they managed to get the trade. I thought they might not. They've probably all go back now. Vega will be happy to defend their high ground, but they really just don't want to fight anywhere else on the map.
Now will CIS pull away? Will Vega let them pull away? They already have pincered out. There's Sven, he commits the stun, he's looking to run in, he has no BKB, he's just doing it with a glimmer. They got a curse. He starts elbowing down no one. The Laguna's going to be finishing him off. And look at this. CIS making their move as they quickly sweep out 3. There's that one punch knockout. And they're going to get the follow-up there on the mag. This turned into a mild race. Vega didn't want to fight outside the base, but they got caught inside their base. They go down and they're losing the first set of racks.
Yeah, looking very much like they're probably losing the game, to be honest, because if CIS rejects are able to just rush them at the high ground, there's not a lot to stop them doing the same thing in the next couple minutes on other sides. I feel like one thing that is worth noting is that an uncharacteristic mistake from CemaTheSlayeR, he was caught in the Winter's Curse. Shadow Fiend got cursed and Dazzle was too close, so he was attacking him, so he couldn't grave him. And I think that's quite significant. I'm not sure if it's fight losing. I think they maybe lose the fight anyway, but definitely you don't want your Dazzle to ever be caught close enough to attacking the Winter's Curse hero.
Man, oh man. And it was like, they saw it coming. Sven was like getting slowed down, and yeah, he had a glimmer, but he was like slowly rushing into the base like he's like, I'm here to fight, I'm going in. And it almost seemed like it threw Vega off a bit. They're just kind of like, what is this guy doing? He's just ready to go in, but they get caught together a bit, and that's when the curse came in after. And that was rough, and there was that one big swoop from CIS, and now look at the rewards that are benefiting from it. The racks provide so much sweet extra gold for their team. You're seeing the next set of items coming in for everyone. A ridiculous spike in the net worth overall. Could be as good as the game. I mean, hell, look at that. Solar Crest on Winter Wyvern. That's when you know you're having a good game. So things are just going lovely right now for CIS rejects as they begin to advance for the second potential racks.
Yeah, and I said so much about Sven, but actually Iceberg's Lina is like the true carry at the moment. Super farm. BKB actually in the stash, not even there. She's holding the edges. She's finished the ags we were talking about earlier. And really just dishing out the damage.
And here he goes. Pops the man mode, and they quickly take down the tier 3. Purge is going to be there. Now he looks to step back. They move back in, and oh man, annihilated. There's the Laguna cannon, and no one's going to be going down and forced to pull out the BKB here. Disruption to try to save out Solo's own life. Curse on the no one's second life here as it allows his company to make it back and away. Pasha gets a cleanup on the back inside. Jumping from Mag to get a committed rush here on Lina. Can they follow with enough stun? They can't to finish off the Sven. Now they're going to look to go for the Lina next. Can Vega hold here? It costs them the buyback they need to make it worth. And they go in, and well, look at this. Iceberg able to just chunk down the Dazzle, but Pasha will be able to get the finish there. A mega kill for him. Steps back, looking to go for ALWAYSWANNAFLY. Stuck under his own Glimmer and Cold Embrace, but looks like he eventually will be going down here, and it will turn into a 5-man takedown of CIS rejects with Vega holding their mid lane.
It is a dieback for the Shadow Fiend, which sets him back significantly. But I almost feel like Vega Squadron are fine for that. They defend their high ground, which turns around the dynamic from the previous push. But more importantly, PL lives through the whole fight, gets a lot of kills, gets a lot of gold. And honestly, Phantom Lance is their game plan for winning the game at this point. It's like stopped being about Shadow Fiend. The Lina's item timings are just too good. They didn't get much out of SF's BKB. Lina's almost twice as farmed as SF at this point, and it's really difficult. I mean, I could talk about Dazzle not getting caught in the Wyvern ulti, but when you can Laguna the SF down from like half HP, it's very difficult for Dazzle to get the grave timing.
Yeah, and you don't want to be doing a preemptive bad grave, and the next thing you know, they're not even in threat. The Laguna was never even used, and then you're in a bit of trouble. So that's a lot of pressure on your Dazzle when that much burst comes out, and there's not enough durability on the Shadow Fiend to withstand it. So, and for each fight that's been happening, it's usually, well, hold on here, mid lane, a little bit of a tussle. I was gonna say usually it's CIS on the, advancement and making their initiative, but here we're seeing a little bit of the opposite. Mag makes his jump on the Goblak and entices him, snowballs him back into trouble, and they're gonna get a return kill here. Maybe the beginning of a comeback here for Vega Squadron. And CIS might need to think twice.
It's all on Pasha. I feel like Vega I mean, sure, Earthshaker could hit a big ulti, so it could Shadow Fiend, there could be some clutch graves, but to actually win a fight for Vega Squadron, it's about Pasha's teammates need to just like bait the enemy to do things.
Oh, see you later, Dazzle. He is down for the count. And, well, they could get AfterLife here. Long stun will help him, though, coming in from your Sven. And, man, he hits hard. He just trucks down Mag in 3 shots. Step back, though, no one. Tries to get some work done on ALWAYSWANNAFLY, who had the Golden Embrace. Turn around, there's going to be the curse. Solo looks to help him out with a disruption of his own. But there's going to be the stun follow-up, and the crit comes out. My God. This Sven hits real hard. And that is going to be no one down. Obviously, with no buyback, Solo will be going down next. And, well, it looked like maybe Vega were going to creep their way back into this game, but now it's them with their backs once again against the wall. And here comes CIS Rejects down the mid lane.
It's such an interesting contrast. In the previous series, I was talking about how Miracle, as one of these young new players, has that like confidence to take the risks. I feel like Pasha in that fight was too nervous. Like his team kind of did the same thing as the previous fight. They caused trouble. They misdirection was difficult for CS Rejects to focus. But Pasha kept running in and out of the fight, not wanting to commit to kill anyone. And yeah, he's gonna go down now probably through this wave. I'm not too sure. But
he really just can't get away. Look at this. He's like, just stop it. Leave me alone. Yeah, he's done for. Oh, okay. That's a dunk. That's a good, exciting little dunk there, but unfortunately, it's not gonna have enough follow-up to really just kind of take it home here. And Pasha, it re-engages at this point, trying to get that bit of cleanup. Gets the grave safety, and we'll step back and away here. And it looks like CS Rejects may be forced back out before they can get the finish on the second set, or the second racks rather. No one comes back from the dead, TPs into the mid lane, and they'll end up taking down Goblak, but only one Rax drops here in the mid lane.
that was the reason Goblak died. Is he ran in deeper to try to get ice shots to finish off the Pasha. Pasha was on 16 HP, doppelganged, and the ice shots, like, I'm sure he felt them like snick his bum on the way past. It was really close to being a dieback for the Phantom Lancer, and could have been the game with it. What I was saying before we started costing out fights is, I do feel like Pasha needs to be taking risks. I feel like the time for playing conservatively is just over for Vega in this game. The only way they're going to win a fight is for his 4 teammates to just like cause havoc and him to just deal the damage while CS Rejects can't focus on, you know, where's the real peel, how do we shut him down. If the Phantom Lancer is going to be indecisive while his teammates are throwing themselves at the enemy, I just don't think they ever win a fight that way.
Now we are back at the Roche. Last time CIS took a good fight, took the Roche. We'll see Vega know that they need this one more than ever at this point. Not going to be coming easy here. How are we looking for gems though? We got a gem on Mag, no gem on the side of CIS here, which is something that could become a bit of value to them if they want to continue to constrict the map availability here for Vega. They're going in. They're going to go for Roche here, Scant.
Mag's gonna go in. I think Mag's gonna go in. Maybe he won't. I don't know. I feel like he's the kind of player who wants to go in that position.
If he had Echo and the stars aligned, but unfortunately this time, CIS are just going to be taking it a bit too fast here, and Mag makes a go. They're going to force out the BKB of AfterLife. Still gets purged up, and now we'll retreat. And they even prepare a Dazzle Weave and everything for a possible fight to come. But CIS are already back in a good defensive position here. They have their Aegis now, and they know the pressure is on Vega to try to hold. And it's just when CIS are going to try to make another big sweep in.
Yeah, I mean, Vega Squadron want to fight with a positional advantage, which is essentially at their high ground. And that's the decision they make there. We don't go into rush, we defend our last set of Raxes at the high ground. But the cost is the Aegis, and I mean, I get, to some extent, the Aegis is not that much of a price to pay, because if they get the fight they want, it involves, like, PL just, like, murderously taking down everyone as they, like, aren't able to establish which one is real, because the rest of the Pasha's teammates can just, you know, cause enough distraction. In which case, one hero respawning while there's that much chaos, probably not such a big deal. I just don't know if there's enough, you know, distraction capacity in Pasha's teammates to actually set up that opening for him.
Alright, let's see what happens. Will they punish Iceberg here? The Aegis holder, obviously happy to be out in front, but doesn't want to really lose that Aegis too fast now. They're hoping to get some value out of it and maybe siege down. It's simply one set of racks that separates them from Megas and assuring a Game 1 victory in this best of 3. They're going to take their sweet time with it. They know that they're going to be coming to this match underdogs. No one dances out a bit. Shards will be caught behind, and both teams just kind of tiptoeing here a little bit. Is Vega just going to have to hope that the opportunity presents itself for them to capitalize in a high ground defense, or do they need to consider doing something a bit more brash here, Scant?
No. They're really hoping to get dived. I actually didn't notice. Solo finished an Agnum Sept on Shadow Demon, which is pretty big. I mean, if he wants, he could just keep Sven purged for the entire fight. Or he could purge, you know, someone else, purge 3 people. They want to get dived and then react before. There's the first purge of Nina.
Yep, pushers are backing away. It's one of those things, too. It just is not graphically big, so you don't really see it. In the chaos of a fight, I mean, it might be hard sometimes to see when a purge is flying out there. It's not very noticeable, so I imagine it's got to be just as difficult for a player. We'll see now again. Iceberg toying out in front. Eats another purge. A lot of damage. It does force out the cold embrace, but look who's jumped down in. Diving on forward. Ramsey's looking to slice down a couple of sweet kills. The follow-up curse is there, and 9 Pasha's going to be going down 90 seconds. No buyback for him. Vega engages, or Mag rather, with a huge dunk. Takes it on 3. But in the back lines, no one is going to be pincered down. AfterLife is going to help take him apart. And GG has been called. Vega are going to get taken down. And the CIS rejects, Scant, are going to be taking game 1 of this best of 3.
Yeah, CIS rejects like a team with a very high power level. I just feel like they still need to prove consistency to me. And maybe they can do that in the second game of the series. But yeah, definitely consistent in the top end of their power level. Because this was a great performance from beginning to end, I want to say.
Well, with that, we're going to quickly cut to a break, and when we return, it's going to be Game 2 of this best of 3. Props again to CIS Rejects. They will take Game 1, and we'll see if Vega are going to come back with a victory to take it to a 3-game stretch. I'm KotlGuy, that's Scant. You're here on Dota _ladder_EN, the English channel, and we'll see you soon.
To pick.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back once more. We're going to give it another take here as we hop into Game 2 of Vega Squadron, going toe-to-toe against the CIS Rejects here. It's Day 1 of Stage 2 action for Star Ladder Season 13. We already witnessed earlier a double-header of OG going against Na'Vi and OG going against Alliance. Those were awesome matchups. I definitely recommend you check them out. But here we go into Game 2 where Vega Squadron surprisingly down 1 game against who many would think the underdogs here in CIS Rejects. KotlGuy for Beyond the Summit, but I'm not alone. I got my buddy Scant back again, joining me remotely. And Scant, I listened to it this time, and he at least said Dota somewhat properly the second time. I didn't hear the first time he says it because I'm usually like trying to flip all the switches and move it around. But my goodness, the LAN final. I'm looking forward to it.
It's during the part of the video where various different games are being listed, and like I think multiple. I don't know if it's the same video, but I think Dota 2 and Hearthstone are both like pronounced very weirdly, but usually the chat knows. But yeah, anyway, you mentioned that it's kind of surprising that Vega lost the first game, and I'm at the point where I think we need to start asking the question, like, I do think that they were a strong team that deserved to do better at the Frankfurt Major. I think they even deserved to be in TI5 and got very unlucky. But I don't know, after yesterday's matches and then today, this first game, people keep asking, are Alliance back or Na'Vi back? I want to ask, are Vega gone? Are they like, I don't know, like, something's not quite right in the last couple of days for this team.
Yeah, I feel like if I put Vega into, you know, a Royal Rumble with teams like CIS Rejects, Alliance, and Na'Vi, at this point, I don't know who would come out victorious between them, just based on what we've been seeing as of recent. And could be as easy as some of the upper echelon of teams have just kind of figured out the meta that next step. They have answers to all the common problems that teams like Vega used to pose. But now they just don't seem quite as threatening here. And we don't like to pass judgment too fast and be like, oh, they're already out. But yeah, I do agree with you that this is not going well for a team that, you know, were really strong going into Frankfurt. They had, you know, tough matchups there. We already mentioned how they took down the what became champion squad twice, but even now against a team like CS Rejects just seems to be throwing them off for a game. They get a second phase picked Dazzle, which is something we don't see very often though, and they already have tremendous team fight coming together for them. Who knows, maybe a sneaky Huskar could come in the horizon here. Scant, it was not banned in phase 2, surprisingly. But there is a Bane already in their favor and a Slardar, so that's not too shabby if something was to pop up.
Well, let's just hope that Dazzle has a better game this game than the previous one. I mean, it's not necessarily on Dazzle himself, partially on the draft, how things worked out, but really didn't get much. Hardly anyone got saved by Dazzle in the previous game. They would either die before they got graved or die after they got graved, but they'd die pretty much always. Dazzle had no say in it. But Vega actually reinforced now with the Abaddon as well. So they've got, I don't know, do you say Abaddon or Abaddon? People say it different. Everyone says it differently.
Please, I know. I always feel like I need to pose that same question to people, and I feel like at this point, it's Basil and Basil. You know, some people, the great Gordon Ramsay will call it
10
Basil,
seconds
but you know,
remaining.
everybody, at least around here, is Basil. It's Basil. So I just figure it's
Oh, that's
5
fair.
seconds
a bad or
remaining.
a bad on. I don't know. Let's get Ice Frog himself. His first words. Tell me, please.
Reserve
What the hell am I supposed to say? I've heard it both
Can we
ways.
just get like a video of each hero like introducing themselves with their preferred pronunciation? or
Yeah,
something?
right.
Like,
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to hear about it, though,
Yeah.
through Twitch. They're like, well, according to ancient articles of Dota history here, it's always been the emphasis on the done or whatever. But the point here, Scant, I know what we're trying to make is Abaddon is going to be amazing with this lineup. This was something I was talking about a bit when I was still solo casting at the start today. When you get in a matchup, and we saw Ehome pull it out at Frankfurt in this very same kind of matchup, they were stuck against a Bane and a Slardar. His shield is just very nice to have, and just one of those heroes that
Vega
many teams, with maybe the exception of like an
turn to
EG or something, they kind of sleep on the hero and just don't really consider it. But then eventually a team will pull it out, and you realize the guy has a lot of potential. Specifically in lineups like this, I feel like he's an ace grab right now for Vega.
I will say though that Ember
10
Spirit is a
seconds
really good
remaining.
response. In the
Yes.
sense that if CIS rejects take the game to a point where he gets farmed,
Dire team back.
now you've got like multiple heroes with no lockdown, and Ember Spirit just like destroys those kinds of lineups. So
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, absolutely, Vega's lineup at the moment looks like it could kind of steamroll through CIS rejects before they even get that farmed, but it's looking
10
like
seconds remaining.
they're on a timer. That's what it's looking like to me.
They don't have enough catch now. This guy's going to be a
5
slippery
seconds
bandit, and
remaining.
they're not going to have much to stop him except like a tusk uppercut snowball shard. Hope you connect it, but
Reserve
Dazzle and
time.
Abaddon, they have no way of locking down. That's where you hope to, sneak in something like a silencer, a disruptor, some way to contain him. But I agree with you. If he becomes a big problem, he gets like an early boot to travel or whatever he wants to do, and begins to just farm up. They're not going to have a way to stop him. That could be a bit scary here. So I wonder how they could reinforce this.
Vega
Though. They're going to be committed now for going for a
turn to
core, unless they're having some of that alliance Kool-Aid there, Scant. They're going to see about making a core Abaddon. I imagine that this is going to be their mid lane grab here for no one. And with Quap and Shadow Fiend out of the picture, even Wind Ranger taken out. What are we thinking here?
I don't know. I will say that I've actually
10
seen, I can't
seconds
remember which,
remaining.
but I've seen another team also run that offlane Abaddon, so
5 seconds
I think that might be
remaining.
something that starts to trend, although it didn't go very well for Alliance recently. But I do
Reserve
think,
time.
I don't think any of these heroes are no one's hero, so I think it's got to be no one's hero that's coming last. I'd be surprised, I guess he could go for the mid-tusk, that's something that some teams have tried. It's possible, it just doesn't feel like his style though. He's usually like more of a, ultimately the one position player. Well, he's usually at least in a position where he can be the one
Yeah.
position player.
Oh, of course. It's going to be tricky, though. Got to offer late game potential and a way to answer this Ember. Or they're maybe trying to backpedal and see what other options were. When I was casting that Alliance game earlier, they're like, oh, we really want to get an AA here. Even if it kind of just fucks everything else up, we got to have this hero here. I hope Vega are not kind of in that same predicament now. Nope, they're going to get a Lina here. So there's always that
Dire
interesting
team.
matchup with Lina and Ember. They kind of counter each other a bit well, depending on the execution a bit. If Ember's caught with his Flame Guard out and you got a Lina with a Yules, an easy Yules will rid of that pesky Flame Guard and allow her to really open up. But if he didn't have Flame Guard out, he can cast it and avoid a lot of damage from Lina. It's a matchup we get to see pretty often.
So I think that at least in the lane stage, Lina does really well against Ember, and also
10
actually
seconds
gets the upper hand
remaining.
against Quap. So that's one good thing going for Vega Squadron right
5
now, that
seconds
no one's
remaining.
probably going to win mid lane pretty convincingly this game, and we did talk about how they're on a bit of a time,
Reserve
and
time.
they're probably going to be the ones making the moves early on in the game, and it's very, very helpful to have a mid lane sloped in your favor when you have that kind of game in front of you.
Oh, I certainly agree. We'll have to see, though, what is going to be the last slot here for CIS rejects. Already committing with their double cores. We're looking at a secondary support here. Could be a bit more selfless. And maybe something to respond or not allow this Abaddon to be a big problem. And AA's already been taken out.
10 seconds
Should have been
remaining.
a significant grab. Maybe themselves get a disruptor for just kind
5
of set up.
seconds remaining.
Someone who can also make stacks? No, that is a tiny. That's a tiny. Is this a support tiny? No, it's
Quap.
always want to fly
Quap.
Quap. That is a 4-position Quap right there. Okay.
Support Quap is really good actually in the right circumstances, and I think this might be one of those because he's against two enemy supports which don't have lockdown. So it's like you have it's a support that's going to just be like a slow scaling core because it's not going to die, so it's going to get gold. But it can also control tempo early on in the game. Most support heroes can't do that because they don't have that blink with like really long range. So she can get around the back lines, get deep wards up, do all sorts of things, but also harass and gank early on.
Prepare for battle.
All right, well, it's interesting. We see it occasionally from like your fancy Pycat Alliance squads and stuff, but I've never seen it in a convincing performance where I'm like, that is it. I'm gonna see it in my pubs. We're done for. You know, it's just kind of been usually a useful tool or maybe a miss.
Man, I'm one step further. I've like started doing it in my pubs.
Oh.
I saw Minats doing it, and I saw Aloadons doing it, and they both did it really well. And then I was like, okay, I gotta do this, and it's worked for me as well. I mean, I'm only playing in like low 5k or whatever, but I feel like I understand the logic behind the support roaming quap, and I think I understand why they pick it in this game because like Tusker and Lina are the only control, and if those heroes use their spells on the support quap, well then nobody's controlling Ember Spirit. So they're gonna have to, I mean, Vega Squadron are gonna have to decide in this game, do they want to use their control spells on a support hero? Probably they won't, and probably that means that it's just never gonna die in those fights.
Interesting move here. Always want to fly, taking to the high ground here. They don't see each other, but she is maybe hoping for a swoop play here. Could sweep up that rune quickly. Not an easy squad to go against here. Abaddon adds deceptive amount of sustain to the team and could reflect back quick damage. Block back here. They free up the rune spot. Always want Fly still waiting for it, but not going to be committing on anything. And oh, look at that. They actually toss Solo to the high ground. He is stranded up there. No TP to make it back out. It will cost Tiny his life. They may also get Always Want to Fly, and they will. 2 kills right away for Vega. And poor Solo's just like, come on. Really?
Yeah, it's not worth it though. He's sending a TP scroll, he'll get out of there. Although they've fought for the courier twice now. Lina wanted to get a healing salt, the courier ran back twice, and Solo's like, come on man, I need to get off this hill.
He's like, I need to play the game.
Yeah. It's a cute little tactic, but if it costs you deaths, it's definitely not worth it. It's perfectly fine to give it the bounty hero to do it, but 2 heroes dead, not worth.
And he was able to get the TP. I thought, well, maybe there'll be like some weird reborn map interaction problem where he can't get the map, the TP from the courier. But no, he got it easily, no problem. And it's not like he was on a high ground spot where CIS could easily just watch over it like the other side would have been. So it's he gets sidetracked a bit, but as you said, definitely not worth it. They lost 2 lives, and now they got to kind of make up for it if possible here. And Mag's already not too threatened in the lane. Does get changed up, won't be forced to snowball out, but ultimately can walk back and away. Still has plenty of tangos and even a salve to go through if necessary. But do you think the lane of the utmost importance here to kind of get the start here is it the mid lane setup that CIS are rolling for with this Tiny, or do you think it's more on Vega?
Yeah. It doesn't. I'm not sure which team, but it's definitely mid. And that, honestly, right now, I feel like that goes for most competitive games. The mid lane decides more than any of the other lanes in terms of the lane stage. This game, because I feel like both Tiny and Lina are really important playmakers and both capable of snowballing if their lane goes particularly well.
Mag will continue.
It does. I do think it favors Lina. I mean, if it's 1v1, I think it favors Lina.
Oh yeah, that's where the Bane comes into play. And the Goblak is going to be like not allowing this Lina to have too good of a time. Didn't go with the early enfeeble or anything like that, but can just still be a bit of pain in the butt here. Iceberg is going to quickly snag up a haste rune for himself, and Bane is going to take his business elsewhere, it seems. No chains here on the Mag on the top front. Easy snowball out, and just more harassment to force him Mag to chew through all of his regen, now stuck with only his salve. But still finding some decent levels, and he's 3-1 CS. So, not too shabby. Compare that over to the other side here. You have AfterLife, who's at 9-1 CS, and he's actually having a pretty good time by himself. Now he has the assistance of Bane even.
Bane Elemental's really not a nice hero to play against the Abaddon. You just like Fiends grip someone and they shield off. He shields off the ulti. I mean, like, it just feels like ulti shouldn't be able to get shielded off. It's one area in which the Abaddon really shows its true strength as a hero. Obviously, that's only match late into the game, but it's also going to take off the Slaughter's ulti. It's another ulti it takes off, and it can take off the Ember Spirit's chains. There's going to be a lot of playmaking potential for Solo, even though he doesn't have the lockdown himself, to just remove and counter the lockdown from the enemy team.
Yeah, that is going to be a lot of weight on the shoulders of Solo so that he can get his team out of any sort of sticky bind. But we'll see as Pasha is still slowly creeping on up here. He's one to definitely get a bit more proactive with his gyro, which, as we say that, he's already kind of getting some trading with AfterLife, who is knowing the supports are not nearby. He's committing in with the sprint. There's the second crush. It's going to connect, and look at that. He got a solo kill on the gyro. Oof, well, just when we're talking about Solo and the pressure on him being around when necessary at time at need, both him and Sema were kind of busy doing the pull-through, and great notice there from AfterLife. He takes full advantage of it and is rewarded with the kill.
And this is the kind of thing you wouldn't expect to happen to a team that's playing on land together. Like, I mean, there's some kind of miscommunication where Gyrocop doesn't realize, hey, he's actually in danger because the other heroes aren't nearby. But it's surprising to me, and maybe just hints at there being like not a perfectly happy dynamic right now in the Vega Squadron camp.
Yeah, and I remember I checked on Twitter, and they definitely had a picture of them on land right now. And it is interesting. It does make you kind of feel a bit weird for Vega on where they are. They're playing together, having a bit of a tough time here with CIS rejects, but we'll see if they're able to pull this out and take it to a game 3. CIS rejects, not ones to back down. They're one of those teams that, you know, they're always going to be the underdog until they really can prove themselves. And
They got a lot of talented players. They just haven't had that run of. I think they made the semi-final of one of the qualifiers in the previous season. I don't know if it was ESL, MLG, or, but they came kind of close in one of the tournaments. And then after that, they kind of petered away, and now maybe they want to be on their way up again. But that's, I mean, my concern is that to be a great team, you have to be able to like fail to qualify for LAN and then just keep going and qualify for the next one. And that's kind of what we haven't been shown yet out of this team.
yeah. Top lane, here's a setup. They're looking to go for Mag now. Will this squad be able to get it done here? He still has Snowball and Shards. Won't get either off. Gets sapped right up. And Bane eats him whole. Seems on the scene. Gonna have to grave himself here. Free and easy pick right there. I guess he just didn't have very many options, or maybe you just can't underestimate that pure damage of the Bane, man. It just sucks your life literally away.
Yeah, so I would say CIS Rejects are definitely outplaying Vega Squadron in the lane stage so far. I mean, the score's 2 for 2, but remember both the deaths that CIS Rejects got were when they like went for the, you know, gimmicky shenanigans at the ruin, kind of gifted those deaths ultimately. So actual lane play, they're the ones making the kills, they're the ones making the plays, especially in that off lane where Slaughter managed to make a kill, which, I mean, if you just told someone, hey, here's the draft, there's a Gyrocopter, Abaddon, and Dazzle against the Slaughter, they'd never guess.
Yeah, and it's against Pasha, who we know for being a great core player, and it's, you know, Vega, and they're on land. That just should not happen. Oh, look at this mid lane. Iceberg eats a full Laguna. They roll on forward, and suddenly Mag's got a double kill. After they lose 2 top lane, or at least lose the 1, they come back and grab a double for themselves. Beautiful sweep through debut for no one in his Laguna.
Yeah, and a big rotation from Mag as well, who's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders this game in terms of control. We spoke about how the Abaddon and the Dazzle don't really provide any of that kind of disable lockdown. But if Tusk is making the right rotations and making the right calls about who to focus when, that's going to definitely reduce the pressure on them.
Uh-oh. AfterLife comes in, sees that trouble's in their woods. They just took the stacks, that side bank. AfterLife trying to sprint away, forces a long snowball commitment from Mag here. He'll eat the stun. Step right back out. And look who's sweeping him from behind now. Oh, Pasha rolls in deep, drops the call down, and they back up and away. Still no one to go down there. Tusk is going to finally get dropped. Everyone, all hands on deck for this one. They're going to be taking down the Queen of Pain, and it looks like that's enough for Vega. Long toss in, does a bit of damage there from Iceberg, and oh, they'll get the sleep. Quickly traded away. Sema might hand over his own life for the save of Lina here, but Goblak still wants to make a go on her. Sema's going to get finished off. He's still on the chase. He has the sap, and he eats a Laguna, gets the sap off, will stay alive and well. Long ball toss, puts him in perfect position for a crush, and now the return. There's the snowball and Shards as Mag is going to get the cleanup, coming right back from the dead. Now they suddenly turn back. They're getting miscoil off. Solo's going to get the finish there. It looks like onto Goblak, and finally, CIS Rejects are like, okay, we got to go. We're done. What a bloodbath, though.
Yeah, so complete bloodbath, lots of aggression back and forth. I do feel like at the start, Vega Squadron made a bit of a mess of it, and again, another sign that maybe they're not all on the same page, which is a bit worrying, because I don't know if you remember, right at the start of the fight, Mag snowballed in, but he didn't wait to, gather any of his teammates. He just like went ahead on his own, then turned around and ran away, which made me think like maybe his teammates were saying, no, the rest of the heroes are coming from above, let's not do this, but they definitely didn't look on the same page at the start of the fight, and sort of lucky for them that the chase goes on for so long from CIS Rejects that they get those 2 return kills at the end. Otherwise it would have been a very CIS Reject favored fight.
They somehow managed to scathe out with minimal losses. And now they get back into their groove here. And for this Ember to kind of get that bit of extra space to be a problem towards the later portion of this game, kind of help that there's a bit of pressure here on Iceberg for this Tiny to start to be a bit of a problem right now. He's got 700 gold. I'm not sure if I'm going to be expecting that insta blink dagger grab Scant or an early drums or something, but I imagine it's got to be something to help him get a bit more proactive.
Yeah, he'd love to go for the straight blink, but that's just going to depend entirely on how quickly he gets gold. If he makes a double kill here, he'll probably rush blink. If he dies, he might get something else in between. If they could rush the blink on the Tiny and the slot, I would put them in an excellent position.
Well, they got a kill on Solo here. It looks like in the top lane, but we keep eyes on bottom as they have the poor man's blink dagger effect. Toss in crush. The snowball sweeps through from Mag. A brilliant save by him, and now it might be CIS on the turn back, or not. Here comes Queen of Pain. They toss in once more. They get a good crush, but the shallow grave is going to be there here from Sema, and now keep Pasha alive. He looks to step back and away. AfterLife hiding in the tree, staying low. They end up getting him down. Still call down going to be coming off. That means Iceberg's going to be going down. Pasha gets him from the grave.
And here comes the Ember Spirits. They're in trouble still.
He's pissed off.
He changed his mind. He's not going to go that deep.
Well.
How did AfterLife get to where he is right now?
I don't know. He was hiding and lurking around the corner there. Got off an amp, and it looks like he just kind of blinked himself, or not even blinked himself, but yeah, I guess he was hiding in the closet. Yeah.
Okay.
Looked like he was really deep in there, but yeah, he just found a nice little nook to fit himself into. And now he awaits orders on what's next, and could be at mid lane. No, it's not. Back the other way. Solo. Could have been caught between the two of them here. But they know he's in a bad, and they don't like that. And he's level 6 now. Not really worth the effort right now.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it is one of the advantages of having an Abaddon as a support. That usually when enemies find a support, it's just quick pick off. This hero, if you chase him around, try and actually complete the kill, it's just like asking for trouble because you're gonna take so long to kill him. Teammates definitely gonna get there.
Yeah, you might even eat a bit of damage. Almost has like Venomancer effect where it's like, oh, you'll jump him, it'll take a lot of effort, but it'll probably pop off his ultimate, and next thing you know, you're all almost dead. You got to go back to base. Just so much of a hassle. Bad could be the kind of same nuisance to a lot of teams. And he gets kind of free will to do as he pleases, whether that's optimize, make shot, call shots, put wards down, be ready with a TP, whatever it may be. But they're back at farming. We'll switch over to the net worth now, and you could see Lena at the top for Vega here. Yules, I imagine, is in order, but still needs a bit of time.
Mag making rotations to the mid lane. I think Mag's done really well so far for Vega. There was the one fight where the team looked on different pages, but I don't think that's on him. I think he's mostly been in the right place at the right time, and it helps compared to his previous game on Earthshake. It helps when you're the task that doesn't need that blink dagger, that could just get mobile and control the pace of the game without that many items. And I think so far he's done a good job, definitely, and his team would be in a much worse place if it wasn't for him.
Some attention from Vega now in this mid lane here, but looks like they're not going to follow through with anything. It's all about getting the next item in order here as AfterLife will continue to push towards his blink dagger. Iceberg did step off, got the power treads for now. We'll see if he's going to be able to opt for the blink dagger next, or if it's going to fit the bill as far as how they decide to dictate the pace of this game. They decide to get a bit more proactive. It's not going to be easy though. You got someone like Lena on the other side who's getting closer and closer to this Yules. Laguna doing serious work. Do you think it's pressure on one more side or the other to try to just get more done at this point in the game where they should be taking advantage of them peaking and being better?
I don't know, it's actually complex, this game, because in the previous game I said that CIS Rejects had like so many things, initiation, control, etc. But Vega could outscale them, and I feel like in this game CIS Rejects maybe have the better of both of those things. The big advantage Vega have is the reactive power. I mean, they kind of had it last game, but it was a bit too passive, the Earthshaker, Dazzle, and Shadow Demon. With the Dazzle, Abaddon, plus Tusk, I think it's slightly more... There's more potential for creativity from Vega Squadron, but I do feel like CIS Rejects, if things don't fall apart for them, are looking pretty good. They've got lots of stuff to control fights, but they've also got the Ember Spirit that we spoke about so much at the start, which is going to mostly be unimpeded later on in the game.
Oh, they found Dazzle, and he is gripped. He's tossed dead. Well, they might lose Goblak for it here. They will. Laguna comes out from no one, and Vega are angry. They sweep in, but Iceberg is already out the other way, avoids the call down. And they continue to make chase here. They want Tiny. He's going to hide up into that closet and TP out from trouble. He'll be good to go. The nearby Ember Spirit just in case here. Uh-oh, Ember, though, going into lane, has a Remnant, and he's gone. All right, good thing no Yules was there or anything. Even then, might have been able to kind of etch out from trouble, but better to be safe than sorry.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So, ALWAYSWANNAFLY's hit an important level. That level 6 on the greedy, slightly greedy roaming support Queen of Pain, often a very big deal, because I mean, it's a big deal on any Queen of Pain, but when you get to it on a support hero, you've got that burst damage for a fight where if Tiny were to catch someone or Slaughter were to catch someone, or even 2 people, and follow up with a Queen of Pain LT, that can be really devastating. It's not, you know, the burst AoE damage that you expect to see from a support level 6.
Mag is in trouble here. Gets jumped on, chained down, sliced up, and now is in a bit of a sticky wicket here, but hey, he lives. The shield comes out, he continues to hold, but finally they bring the pesky Ice Walrus down. Cost him a lot, though. ALWAYSWANNAFLY forced to bottle up quite a bit. Now they're looking to turn the table here onto Solo. Still has borrowed time. He's a pain in the butt. They trigger it. Now they'll chase him. This is the Ghost Ride right now. But they can't do anything about it. So, what is he doing? He is still happy to take a fight. He knows help is on the way here. ALWAYSWANNAFLY's back. Doesn't have a ton of mana, but does want to participate. All the meanwhile, Lina going to get a kill on Slaughter, but we'll keep action here as we'll see them back out in a way. But the kill was actually over on the bottom. They took out the Slaughter there. Lots of juggling action, though, between the top lane, too.
Yeah, and it finishes Lina's Yules, but also really important to deny Slaughter's Blink, which he was just about 100 gold away from. Tiny's also really close to Blink, and it's going to be a crucial timing. Getting that Yules just before those 2 Blinks. I think they'll probably get the Blinks anyway, and then it's kind of going to be... I don't know, to a large extent it feels like first move advantage when you've got all these key items. Like, if Tiny and Slaughter blink on you before you react, you often don't have time to react. Vega have got the heroes, they've got the Abaddon and the Dazzle and the Tusk, but you know, if the burst is that quick,
yeah,
it feels like that happened last game. They had the Dazzle and Shadow Demon, but often they just like, heroes just died before they could even do the saving.
They quickly realized they didn't sign up for this. They were not hoping that it was going to be that difficult to keep cores alive with that much burst on the other side here, but they might not have much of a choice. They're inching in bottom lane. Vega is to try to take down this tier 1. CIS Rejects waiting nearby. Still no blink on AfterLife. Probably doesn't want to commit too much. Would love to save his money right there. Bottom lane, though, that's where they're going to get mag. Look at this. Ramsey's able to kind of inch on in and take advantage of the lone Tusk. And, oh boy, sidestepping the call down here. Very angry Nine Pasha is going to scare him away, but not be able to get any sort of catch.
Super close. If the cooldown hit him, then he's almost certainly dead there, but just edges out of the first rocket and saves his life as a result. And that's going to buy the space and time as well for Slaughter to finish his blink now. And I think that is the final piece of the puzzle for CIS Rejects in terms of getting very aggressive.
You see Vega now coming together here. They smoke up. They are ready to go to work. They still have Laguna in their pocket. Mid lane, though, they make a committed jump for Solo, and that's a bad things right there. He's just happy to get the borrowed time off, and he'll be A-okay. Still kind of baiting him in a bit. Vega thinking about going. Iceberg will have the mana back for possibly the combo now. Amidst this toss, I think Vega want to engage. No one sweeps in, gets the Yules. And this could be the end here for Iceberg. Oh, what a sleep, though, comes up from the Bane, but it's not going to matter. He will end up going down. Jump in, 3-man crush from AfterLife. Follow up. Sonic Wave. Beautiful stuff here from CIS Rejects, and they're buying back. They want to fight here. Vega see the buyback, and they're having second thoughts. They're looking to double back now. Oh, they got the 1 chains on the Sema here. Do CIS Rejects want to over-engage? Huh? Doesn't look like it. Now their one's back, and now Vega's moving back in. They're like, we're going to get the Yules onto him. Jump in, crush. They get a Fiend's Grip off, but it's going to get canceled quickly there. They will end up losing their Ember Spirit, and now it's Vega back in control. Look at them. Scooping everybody up, and they saw the Queen of Pain in the trees, and they're going to finish her off. Oh, big fight for Vega now. They just kind of manipulated where the fight was going to be and pulled it right back into their arms and re-engaged once more.
It's such a contrast to the previous game, because exactly what I was saying didn't happen in the previous game. did just happen in that fight. CIS rejects don't burst anyone down quickly enough, and so all the healing pays dividends. And but at the end of the fights, you wouldn't even believe that CIS rejects had been casting spells because the Vega Squadron heroes are all on 4 HP. And I think that mostly goes down to the fact that Vega Squadron started the fight. They burst on the tiny, hardly did anything, and if they're making the first move, the value of those blink daggers is greatly reduced.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Are they able to follow it up with a lot? You know, tier 1 mid was down. They can't really move in for Roche at this moment, but they're feeling like they still want to take a fight. No one holding on to 2K now, and we'll see if he's going to be one to go for the Hags or if he's also going to be all about that Shadow Blade party. We'll have to see, but for now him and Solo will do work on the bottom, and maybe we'll see a response here, Scant from CIS Rejects. They're smoked up, moving in bottom lane now. Charged up, ready to go, and they want to say, screw you, Solo. We're going for the lady. And she's able to get off the Yules with the help of the shield. Sleep going to be taken off. Sleep going to be returned now. And, oh, he gets rolled on in. He gets the Laguna off. Will ultimately go down, but can they still get the most out of this now? Mag tossed back. Look at this. Iceberg alive and well. No, going to get dropped right there in the end. Mag going to get the finish.
Radiant's top tower.
Now they're both going to get crushed up. Goblak commits on in. What's happening mid lane? Looks like they want to engage for Sema. Sema caught out and alone here. No grave. He will get chopped apart here. Meanwhile, Bane gets the finish onto a... Oh no, Abaddon, sorry, gets the finish onto Bane. And there's the finish onto Sema mid lane. So, action breaking up both sides. CS recognize that they have the opportunity to get a pick on the mid lane. They get that one, but... Scant, what about the first part of this now? Breaking out in the bottom lane.
They're actually punished. And this is... repeatedly now, it feels like what Vega were going for in game 1 that didn't work is actually working for them right now. They've got these defensive support heroes that can really punish you for overextending with your aggression, turn things around. And Abaddon doing good work, keep Lina alive. Tusk comes in, puts in a snowball, she gets her ulti off. Does a lot of work, and this is a familiar style or approach that teams take to deal with very aggressive opponents. It's just that usually we used to seeing Vega as being one of the very aggressive teams, not the team that adapts and plays reactively to the aggressive teams. So maybe that's actually part of why their form has been a bit shaky recently, that they're investigating new approaches to the game.
It's valid thought. We'll see though. Ramses with an invis rune here, scoping out top lane. Gonna not know that he just happened to swing by the Vega troop heading up there, but will cross paths with Mag. Gets a quick chain. Snowball's gonna be forced out. He's dragging him up and over closer towards his team here, as ALWAYSWANNAFLY is gonna show up. Mag trying to sidestep, can't avoid the sonic wave though. He goes down. A call down comes in from Pasha. Not gonna connect onto anyone here, and ALWAYSWANNAFLY should be able to just make a hasty getaway with the help of a blink. That's a hit and run job. A successful one there for CIS Rejects.
Yeah, in this game, we do see the Lina going straight into that Aghanim Scepter and the Shadow Blade business. I mean, not as big of a lead, so not as much potential for snowballing, although it's gonna make an attempt on Ember Spirit. This is very difficult. Yeah, you basically can't make that kill if he has a Remnant up.
That slippery fool. Gonna make it backing away, and Vega will just take this opportunity instead to come together now and push down this top tier 1 tower. This opens up some jungle opportunity here. Do we have any wards on hand? Solo? Nope, no one has a ward on hand, so that's a shame. Could move up into the CS woods and plant some wards and give some vision, but while they see top being pushed in, they're like, this is our chance. We're going to go in with the help of this amp damage and quickly muscle down this Roche. It's proven to be a bit of a tough time, though. They'll definitely need the help here of Ember Spirit, but even Ember doesn't offer too much crazy damage. And look who's already here! Vega! Oh, this is not good. CIS are not going to be able to do this. They got to get out.
Well, I think they'll be lucky that they could get out without any deaths, but do they possibly give up the rush now? If they do, then that's almost as bad as if they had gotten some... It's worse, actually, than if they had gotten a couple of deaths.
Vega are just like, thanks. We're starting it. Ours now. Oh, what is happening? Oh, no. Nope, that's not the all-star play you were going for there, AfterLife. And he goes down just a little late. Ambitious. I applaud his efforts. Apparently he bought out beforehand. He's going Midas. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I suppose, I mean, the alternative is usually the 4-star. Maybe figuring that he wants to keep scaling, the game's gonna last a while, and He's not going to have space to actually farm creeps on the map, also Slaughter doesn't really
Dire's
naturally do
bottom
that
tower
anyway.
is under attack.
Yeah,
Radiant
maybe they could just
structures
defend out. I mean, always want flies going for an Ags. He'll have sonic waves coming out of his ears to try to keep back some of these waves. Soul is trying to keep back some pressure mid lane, all by himself here. Now he's caught between 3. Goblak.
Radiant's top
I don't know if he wants to
is
commit
under
any sort of
attack.
ulti here on just solo. Borrow time's gonna get
Radiant's
popped.
middle tower has
Tower's gonna
fallen.
get destroyed
Dire's
from
bottom
Bane,
tower
but
has
this
fallen.
comes as Mag was able to TP in, and they will be stepping back it away. All the meanwhile, they're
But
able to
the
get a lot of
top
push time bottom
Bane-
lane and top.
No one actually TP'd in, burnt his ulti on Ramses, but didn't quite kill him, and then he just decided to leave. It's like, oh well, didn't kill you.
Radiant's
Time to go to
top
base.
tower is under attack.
And Ramses with those boots of travel is going to be all over the place. Looks like he heads back, heals up now, and will continue to farm up. He is, you know, might be feeling a bit more pressure now that this game is going to be more on his late game presence now, as Vega are creeping in with a bit of a turnaround. We look at the net worth graph now, barely over 2K. At that moment, though, you can see a quick finish from poor little Solo. Borrow time not even going to happen.
Victory Sonic Wave.
They really want to make sure that
Sonic
ult
Wave
didn't
action.
happen.
He's actually, speaking of Sonic Wave, always wanted to play and nearly has a Aghanim Scepter, which is, again, it's...
Yeah, they got the kill on to Ember. This time was not able to remnant away from the Yule's combo follow-up. And Tiny was coming in from behind hoping to get some revenge, but no one is not going to have any of it. So this time he comes up and gets a better time. You said last time he, fell a bit short. Now he made proper calculations or something and got the kill.
That I'm pretty sure that's like close to impossible. That if the Ember Spirit's like trying to jump away for Lena to actually catch the timing, maybe there's like a tiny little interval that no one can get exactly right. But without seeing it, I would guess that the Ember Spirit like messed something up. I don't know.
Oh.
Like Lenas don't typically try kill Ember Spirits
Radiant's
with Eels.
bottom tower is under attack.
No one was fishing for Yules right there. Couldn't find it.
Dire's
Put to
middle
sleep for
tower
his
is
trouble
under
as
attack.
Vega will continue to pressure this tier 2
Dire's
mid lane.
structures are
But
fortified.
kind of like what we saw
He's
from the other
fishing for
side.
the courier. He's gonna go back.
Oh, he's not going to get it. Yeah, I think it's like kind of the opposite from what we saw before. CIS rejects know they're not going to be taking really
Dire's
a fight
middle
until
tower
it's
has fallen.
necessary in their base, which could be coming sooner than later. Walk in, they clear out the wave as fast as possible. Still leaves a couple here, and they're going to be able to go to work on this tier 3. What are they going to do about it? Just tossing in, ridding of some shields here. Pasha with that Aegis, happy to stand strong in the front and do work. Put the step is enfeeble, helps a bit. The flat cannon though is going to work now. And look at this, poor little Goblak. He's eating so much of the damage. Tier 3 down now. CIS rejects. They got to think about doing something here soon. Oh, a toss-back play here on to Pasha. They're going to get the catch with a Fiend's Grip. It's very deep if they want to stop this Bane, but he's able to make it back it away. How fun having the Abaddon on your team. And now they step back. Two-man crush will connect here from AfterLife, and they fire back. Sonic Wave is out. 2 already go down from CIS, and oh man, they toss back the Ember. He's able to remnant away, but now he is the lone survivor here. No one, and I mean no person, will go down from the side of Vega on this one. And they will quickly clean out the mid-set of racks, and it does force out a buyback here from Iceberg. Could be the final hurrah, though, potentially for CIS rejects. But Vega, huge win for him.
Yeah, the Abaddon and Dazzle showing their secondary purpose in this game. Firstly, early on they were winning fights by reacting, and the Tusk as well. Just like stopping CIS rejects from bursting people down. There's Nina and Ember going head-to-head in the top lane. Ember just jumps out. Okay, that was just a little bit of teasing. But yeah, going back to the points about Dazzle and Abaddon, really make it a lot easier to force high ground. Often we see teams, even when they're ahead, lose fights when they're trying to push the enemy high ground. And a big part of that is that the enemy team can spam them down and then initiate when they're not 4 HP. But there was no points in that fight. Jarokop's had an Aegis, and he was 4 HP pretty much the entire time. He's just standing there hitting the building, they spam things, and he gets healed just as quickly as he gets spammed.
And his potential for being able to be a demo man is not going to stop as he farms through a sweet stack here. His damage will continue to grow. Ramses will do his damnness, though, to keep the pressure back in a way. They're down a set of racks, but still confident that they got late game potential. and opportunities will present itself. They will
Radiant's
continue to
middle
truck
tower
on and
is under
farm.
attack.
Ramsey's just got the next tool in his belt with that Battle Fury here. No one, though. Look at him. Scoping out the scene here with this Invis rune. He's going to make a go for AfterLife, and he's going to get the job done. He put himself in position far away from the Tiny, near home, and some friends, and he'll walk away with a quick and easy pick.
Yeah, in the meantime, ALWAYSWANNAFLY desperately trying to finish his Agnum Scepter on that support Queen of Pain. Needs 100 gold more. Not sure that it's going to be... I mean, it definitely helps defending the high ground, because you can use the shorter cooldown means you can use it in like the first barrage of things, and then have it later on in the fight. But I don't know if it's like enough of a big deal to change the dynamic from the previous push. Like, your serious problem here is Tiny. Right?
Radiant's
Look at
bottom
Tiny.
tower
He's
is under
half
attack.
he's got half the net worth of Lino
Dire's top
Gyrocopter.
tower
Yeah.
is under
He's
attack.
just basically not even on the board.
Yeah, we need a bit more from this guy right here. Especially if you're a CIS Reject fan right now. You're hoping that he will be able
Dire's
to
top
kind of step it
tower
up
has
here.
fallen.
Add some pressure on this tier 2, but trouble is coming in.
Radiant's bottom tower
Oh, an
is under
early
attack.
dazzle weave is out, and they are ready
Dire's
for a
top
tussling
tower
right
is
now.
under
Vega are
attack.
moving into the high ground now, and CS Rejects, we'll see if they'll be able to stop him here. They'll try their damnedest. They get to sleep on the solo. They hope for the burst on Gyro, and they get it. All while he's a snoozing. They get it done. Fiend's Grip onto no one from Goblak in the high ground. They can't stop him. Snowball will sweep him up. They hover on forward. They're going to get the kill to ALWAYSWANNAFLY. She did already commit what she needed to do, though. And now they're looking for a go into Mag. It looks like they might be able to get him here. Yes, they will. Moving up. They want more. No one. Preemptive Grave going to be here. They stop him with the shield. But they toss him up and down. Self-Yules keeping alive barely. But AfterLife already looking on the next target. Gets the kill on the Sema. 4 down all day. They're hungry for 5 here. Look at that. They're even TPing to the mid lane. Oh, Slardar went the other way. Figuring Solo was going to jive to the right, but he went left. And look at that. Scant, wouldn't you know it? CIS Rejects just held wonderfully, and they got one of the biggest net worth swings we've seen this game.
Yeah, I think that the acquisition of the Ags on Queen of Pain actually made a big difference. Mostly just their confidence. It looked like the way... Well, is Solo going down as well?
Uh-oh.
In his own jungle.
They caught up with him.
Ulti.
Oh, this is the worst. The Ghost Walk. It's like you're going to get caught. They chain him down. Help is here, though, and... Okay, CIS Rejects are like, we're not going to press it too far. It'd be nice to say we 5-man wiped him, but we're not going to go crazy.
So in the mid push, it looked like CS Rejects felt they needed to spam people down before they went in. Part of that is that Gyrocopter had the Aegis, which he didn't have in that top push. But I think another part is that they picked up the Queen of Pain Ags and they were like, we've actually got the burst damage. And they went in with a pretty clear plan. Bane Elemental runs in, sleeps Abaddon, and then they just burst on the Gyrocopter. And those are really the 2 different factors. The previous time there was an Aegis on Gyro, and there was a non-sleeping Abaddon. And I think maybe it is a bit on Solo to try and position in a way such that he can't just be slept by Bane, because he's got a very important job to do. He has to be able to take off some kind of initial disable on the Gyrocopter so that he can get his BKB off immediately.
Oh, stun is a swing and a miss from Iceberg trying to make a jump on the Dazzle. Was suspecting him to run straight. He cut left. That opportunity is going to be gone, but I agree with you, and I wonder if it's something that maybe they consider getting something schmancy, like a Lotus Orb at some point, just to secure Solo is going to be there with the proper defense necessary. But what's happening over here? Ramses is happy to cut the wave here, right under the nose of Pasha. Knows he has a way out, and he's just going to do his damnness to prolong this game, so CIS Rejects can make a comeback in, I guess, what you can call like the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about like early on in the game, and we're getting to the point where it's starting to matter. There's not really great tools on the side of Vega to deal with Ember Spirit, and the more farmed he gets, the bigger it's going to be a problem. For now, it's just he can split push really hard, not really worried that much about dying. In fact, I think he's only died really in fights in this game. I don't think he's like been caught out and died, and I don't think that's likely to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, especially not here on out. Maybe kind of stubbed his toe getting caught out at one time from the Lina, but not looking to let the same thing happen again. But as I say that, oh, turns back chains after the LSA misses. He gets the cleanup on the tower. It'll be fine.
Oh, you're right, yeah. That one Lina time, that's still a huge puzzle to me. But I mean, in theory, the later the game goes, the more it's going to be Ember Spirit deciding what happens.
Oh, looks like they got a catch on Solo here. Set up with the sleep. There's the stun. Sonic Wave borrowed time, and they all take a moment for prayer. But Mag says, nah-uh. Rolls in, picks up his buddy, and says, we gotta go. Rolls Solo out of the way. Forces Goblak back with a punch. He goes, look at that. Okay, I don't know. Fiend's Grip cancels it. Says, nah, we got to do this. No, we're not. They want to run back and away here. And Vega looking to engage. Pasha leading out the charge. Looks like he might get Goblak here with a call down. He's trying to sidestep. Please don't see me walk into the woods. They saw him. And he'll go down. God, he barely was able to try to creep away, but couldn't make it out. Very awkward fight right there. Maybe a bit of miscommunication from mostly the Dire side there. They wanted to engage, and they second-guessed it. Unfortunately, this does look like it will lead to Vega picking up a free Aegis.
And this is so huge because, remember, one of the reasons that they could defend the base top is just because there wasn't an Aegis stuck at mid. Now there's an Aegis again. Maybe this just spells another side of Rax. The time we saw CIS Rejects successfully defend involved bursting down Gyrocopter, and now, forget about the Aegis, there's also, Abaddon's probably not going to get himself slept again. He's got a Solar Crest, he's got his Vlads, there's the Dazzle, he's got the Grave and the ulti, and there's actually just so much to keep Gyro up.
Well, here comes a test here for CIS Rejects. Can they hold once more? Sonic Wave, everything they can to stop the wave from getting into the fountain, or getting into the base rather, and leaves Pasha alone up in the front with that Aegis in tow, and he's going to get some work done on this tier 3. Slights start coming out from Ramses on the side to get some of that backstaff a bit. Iceberg has picked up his Ag since then, hoping to cleave down some damage, but as we can see, he's not really able to get in there and right-click anything except a wave. Goes into man mode as he hits level 16, and we'll see if Vega are going to give it a second swing in this bottom lane.
Yeah, this is looking a lot more like the mid push than the top push at the moment, and I don't know what CIS Reject's plan is to be. Maybe they try and go at the back lines and burst someone else down. I just don't see them bursting Gyro and then winning the fight. Yeah, they're going around.
They're back in again. This tier 3 to drop here, but look at the flank play coming out from Rejects. They're looking to swoop in from the left-hand side, and oh no! Swoop right into a Yule's. AfterLife is going to get annihilated on that one. The SlayeR is going to be down. Going to be forced to buy back here on the low ground. Big call down drops in from Pasha as he steps on forward, looking to crush Iceberg here. Mag on the side, getting Fiends gripped up from Goblak. They're going to get the finish, taking out Iceberg, and now Pasha's looking to go back in. Goblak, though, has the Glimmer Cape, going to be able to make it back in a way, but AfterLife again, it's a dieback for him as he gets caught out and taken out once more. No one sets it up. Back-to-back kills onto him. CIS Rejects lose 3, and it looks like they're going to be losing another set of racks here. That's game. And we're going to go to a game 3 scan.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because Vega took the same approach, roughly speaking, in both games. So we're gonna like count on your aggression, have the tools to react, heal, save, counter, engage. Didn't really work game 1, worked really well in game 2, and very interested to see if they take that same approach in game 3 of just picking multiple healers and defensive heroes.
All right, with that said, we're gonna get ready and hyped up for a Game 3 match here of Vega versus CIS Rejects. With that said, I'm KotlGuy. That's Scant. When we return, it'll be Game 3. We'll see you soon. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to what will be our last game today for StarLadder Season 13 in conjunction with iLeague. We're going to get underway to game number 3 of Vega Squadron going against CIS Rejects. This is KotlGuy for Beyond the Summit. I'm going to be joined now not by one, but two handsome gentlemen here. We got Scant joining me as co-caster remotely, but then somehow managed to finagle his partner in crime, Knoxville, in, and he will be blessing us with his wonderful stats. Gentlemen, thank you so much both for joining us here. I don't think Knoxville can hear us, so we can talk shit about him. But how you doing, Scant? Are you excited and amped up for game number 3?
Always happy to do a majority South African cast. It's a strange thing to happen in the professional world of Dota, but yeah, hopefully Knox is going to give us... Wow, Doombringer has been let through. That does not happen very often.
Well, it does not, and it looks like just things have shifted more to, you know, having Wisp take priority in that, but also Tusk has crept his way through, so it was just kind of looking like Vega knew they were going to get one or the other, or hoping to get one or the other, and they got Doom. This means CIS Rejects, though, get a pretty good dynamic duo, though, in SlayeR and Tusk. But do you think they need to consider getting something like an AA to directly answer the Doom? Like, what steps do we take from here? The few times we get to see the first big Doom come out.
I mean, I think
5
CIS
seconds
Reject's
remaining.
approach with this starting with slot on task is, I mean, this is how they started in the first game, and I think their approach will
Reserve
just
time.
be to have like that much stuff to start with, that they're not that worried about Doombringer, who
Vega
can doom one
squadrons
person, but
turn to
a lot of
battle.
them are interchangeable in terms of like setting up the fights and controlling the fights. I don't think they'll necessarily feel like they need to directly counterpick the hero. It is also interesting to know. Game 1, Vega got the SF, but the cost was slaughter task, and they
10
lost that game.
seconds remaining.
Game 2, they get the Doom at the cost of slaughter task. It's kind of different, but it's a similar dynamic, and
Radiant
I'm
team
just
back.
interested to see where Vega Squadron go with this, because we spoke about how in both Game 1 and 2, they had those kind of defensive supports centered around reacting, and having picked up the Doom and the Quap, I mean, do we think that they'd also run a support Quap? I haven't seen
10
them do it,
seconds
but
remaining.
maybe
Yeah.
they could.
The other thing is,
5
I mean,
seconds
most people
remaining.
might just figure that this Doom is going to be for Mag, and next thing you know, they're
Reserve
sleeping
time.
on Brood, and they don't ban her out. Next thing you know, it turns into a safe lane Doom or something crazy like that. Vega walked away with a Broodmother pick or something. I don't know, just a possibility. We
do
don't see
run-
Vega played a
Vega
lot, but usually it's a
squadrons
Mag, and well,
turn
there
to
goes
battle.
all those theories out the window, tinfoil hat thrown off, and
Yeah.
there goes the Brood. Anyways, we're not going to see it.
Safe lane Doom sometimes. I'm not completely sure, but I also think they're likely to just run
10
mid
seconds
Quap.
remaining.
Probably not support Quap. I mean, it's always a
Radiant team
possibility,
back.
but that's really the question for me. The Dazzle's already out, so maybe that answers the question. Maybe with CIS Rejects banning Dazzle, Vega Squadron go for a different approach. For what I mean, Dazzle's a hero that they've been picking for a long time, but we've kind of gotten used to them having one support hero,
10
the one
seconds
solo
remaining.
plays, which is playmaking. And we've not seen that today. We just haven't seen Solo
5
making plays
seconds
today,
remaining.
and I kind of would like to see it. I feel like Solo's Night Stalker is like one of the best in the world.
Reserve
It hasn't been
time.
banned once, so that's what I'm looking to see in this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that either, to be honest. More proactive kind of heroes to make it happen. I just wonder what sticks out to him, though. You're already seeing heavy initiation rule with Tusk and Slardar. I mean, maybe you counter and get something, I don't know, like a support Earthshaker, just so that you can kind of divvy up the fight a bit and catch anyone who is rolling in a bit. We'll have to see where they decide to go with that. CS Redux, though, they look at Vegas, and we already know that there's some intel out there as far as what they want to get done. I'm with you that, you know, it's probably going to be the no one middle Queen of Pain. He plays the hero ridiculously well. Can't fault him on that. More than likely, Mag going to be playing the Doom here. But, you know, I guess they could ban out support Lich. Oh, they're not going to ban out support Lich. They're going to ban out the Sven instead.
squadrons
Maybe
turn
a
to pick.
future PL coming out or something, but Ember's still
Radiant
out there.
team
But they're gonna get the Bane, and the quick response again against the Slardar, against the Bane, is getting the Abaddon or Abaddon,
Yeah.
whatever you want to say.
Yeah, it did so well in the previous game. I mean, why the hell not?
Yep.
Just go for it again. The Sven ban, I think, because they've got Slaughter, and it's become more and more common that people pick Sven against minus armor strategies. But yeah, that's Abaddon pickup. Almost an obvious pick for me at this
10
point. We know they
seconds
like to run
remaining.
it. Well, they played it last game. It countered these heroes very well. It's likely to do the
5
same again.
seconds
Also, just
remaining.
combines well with Queen of Pain. It used to be one of the, like in the
Reserve time.
this era dual lane phase when dual lanes were a thing back in the day. It was one of the like textbook dual lanes, Abaddon and Quap. Like they just have natural synergy together, shielding the Quap,
Yeah.
keeping her alive.
Vega squadrons turn
Well,
to
wouldn't you
pick.
know it? It is the PL. I couldn't help but feel like that one was a bit obvious coming after the Sven ban. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Vega doing a bit of a change up in the laning setup, like you're saying there. Quap and Abaddon, I'm a big fan. I've also seen a lot of. I remember like Abaddon Weaver was also a big thing. I'll give him the shield,
Yeah.
run in there. He'll be a pain in the ass, and they can't do much about it. They might just take more damage, you know. So that'd be neat to see as well. But now you got a
10
PL,
seconds remaining.
Ember Spirit. Maybe they feel that Doom and Queen of Pain. I mean, can you still fit an Ember Spirit into here? I just feel like the cardinal rule for a lot of players is you only get PL when Ember Spirit's
Reserve
not
time.
a possibility. Is he not a possibility? Or is that something that still could pop up?
I think he is a possibility. I mean, Slaughter's actually pretty good against him. Good at locking him down, and I don't know. I mean, some people say Slaughter's weak against Ember Spirit because he can't take off the shield, but obviously he's not going to try and solo kill him. Bane can obviously control him. I think they could pick it. My concern for Vega at the moment is that it's looking a bit like the last game. Of course, they won that game, where I said they maybe didn't have enough lockdown. to control the enemy Ember Spirit there. I mean, because so far they got 3 picks and none of them really have consistent stuns. Doom can sort of mini stun people.
Yeah.
But I think that Vega do want. I mean, maybe that's an argument for Ember Spirits. Well, there's the Ember Spirits. I mean, he's got the chains. That is, it's one of the few like safe lane heroes that actually has that extra disable.
Man, oh man. It's just, I've heard this more than once, and it's one of those things when I hear it, it's like, I know I'm not the best Dota player ever, but I hear these rules, and I figured they're what you should follow, and the big thing that I've heard a lot.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I lose you? I can't hear you anymore all of a sudden.
Ten seconds remaining. Vega squadrons turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Silencer.
Vega squadrons turn to pick.
Yeah, so I guess I will just keep talking for now. It looks like something's happened to KotlGuy. There might be people listening in Dota TV, so I guess I'll just talk about what's happening in the meantime.
10
See
seconds
if he gets-
remaining.
Oh, I think I'm
5
back.
seconds remaining.
Think we're coming back. Oh, good, everyone. I'm so
Busting, and I
sorry.
wonder if
Time
he's also
Warner
talking.
Cable.
That could make
Just
things
didn't
awkward
want
if we
to,
can't hear it.
I'm still kind of half-ass connected here. Scant call failed. Let's get him called again. I'll try to. Hopefully we're coming back in live. Oh, I still have no go-ahead here, but I've got the game here. We got the VOD recording. I'm just going to proceed further while we can in hopes that everything is going to get resolved. Oh, shoot. Why am I calling him on my phone here? This is just fooey right now. Oh, a silencer grab. So they did have an answer for the Ember. Alright, I can't even refresh the dashboard page here. I don't even know if I have internet or not. I don't know if I'm live or not right now. God damn it. Why?
10 seconds
This is what happens
remaining.
when we have the KotlGuy studios.
Disruptor.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. "30 seconds to battle. The battle begins. Worthy tribute. bad.
No. Bonded, you and I. No blood.
First blood. Just a little. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Could have been a good thing. The last of your
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
under the weather.
Weak sorcery.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, that's smart.
Ooh, I love your new piercing.
The silence is broken. Well, look at that. Killing spree. Mess with Doom, you get the horns.
tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The wages of fear.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Look there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The hell?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
My heart beats no more.
Silencer? I'd prefer a screamer. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
To the blue flame.
Mode of getting everything back up and ready, but as soon as the action seems to fizzle out here, Scant, I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch, but I would love to be caught up to pace here as Ramsey is... And Sema had been doing work in this top lane from the little bits of slideshow Dota I've seen up to this point, and he might have just gotten the kill. No, one more strike would have done it, but they couldn't get it done. Scant, what the hell's going on in this game, please?
Vega Squadron are showing more of their usual selves. They've been dominating the game from the start. There've been a few times that they've dived a bit too far and been punished for it, but most notably I think they look at the mid-silence Iceberg is 0-4. And I was talking a bit, I was casting a bit to Dota TV while you were gone. Actually, Nox was speaking with me as well.
Well, thanks.
About the fact that the core silence in this game needs to bring more than just his ulti. Because they don't have the burst potential really, like their heroes deal damage over time. And if you have just the global silence, you want to burst someone down. Because they don't have that potential, I think he needs to actually get items, and he's been struggling to do that so far.
The dominance seems to continue here. Vega just get a nice easy cleanup on the ALWAYSWANNAFLY, and as you said, this is feeling a little bit reminiscent of the Vega of old. We were expecting to see kind of put on a tight uniform kind of play, especially into the early part of the game here, and the aggression doesn't seem to stop once they recognize they have that kind of potential, and here they are, charging down this bottom lane now. Smoked up and ready to go. Level 3 glimpse. It's lots of range to get a setup here. And it looks like they're hoping for a dive onto Mr. AfterLife in this bottom lane, but assistance is already on the way. They spotted out Goblak here. The Bane gonna get trapped out. Instinct Static Storm. He can't do anything. He is gonna get dropped.
There's a Doom.
I don't think... Oh, the Doom goes in. They get the glimpse back. It's trouble for AfterLife, and that might be where he's going. Oh, a cheeky little snowball save. But ultimately, he will get dropped, and that could also lead to ALWAYSWANNAFLY, and it will. Kinetic Field's going to be there, and Vega wipe the floor of 3 CIS reject members and take a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, Ben was actually saying before that the patch so far, which is about just over 10 minutes. So not going to be breaking the record here, but I mean, mathematically looking like they're on a similar page right now, and yeah, is this another dead PL?
What he is, yeah, just in the wrong spot, and he's just gonna be not able to
That's not
kind
why
of
he
get away
parked
from
his
that
car.
pickle. Yeah. Oh boy, and it doesn't stop here. And here comes, he's got the whip. Whoop, whips him right back. Goblak's in trouble, put into a cage match now. Tries to brain sap here, but he is not going to be able to do a lot. You go to sleep if I have to die. Fun little play, but it doesn't matter. Vega continue their onslaught here. We're about to get to dank Blaze territories. It's 4-19, and Vega are in a commanding position to close out with a series victory here, taking out CIS Rejects. But always want to fly. Now next target here for the Glimpse. Pull back. AfterLife commits on in, gets a good crush. The silence will come out. This is CIS Rejects time, but it's not going to be. Always want to fly going to be going down again. Iceberg already has to head back and away, and things just do not seem to be working out at all. It is now 420.
It's always a bad sign when you have to use global silences defensively. Like, you really want to be able to use them offensively, but like I've said earlier, even if they were using it offensively in this game, they don't have a whole lot of potential to actually make kills during the duration of the global silence. The silencer pick was meant to do well in lane, and it's done anything but that. It was, to a large extent, where like the trouble started for CS Rejects. And speaking of silence, he's been doomed up, and
just so much hate. This guy's just trying to walk back home, a nightly walk, and some crazy mag dude walks up, dooms him right in the mouth, and now Always Want to Fly tries to show up to be the bodyguard, and he just lost his own life trying to help out. And it's just an onslaught. It's Vega just absolutely in firm control, and they're going to get this tier 1 tower. I don't know. I mean, was it all on just that early game and how Vega were able to just kind of take control of the lanes, or was this kind of something where CIS Rejects might have just drafted themselves into a bit of a sticky pickle?
Well, Vega do have excellent snowballing heroes. And actually, there's going to be some return in the mid lane. No one's going to go down.
Yeah.
Introducing the Fiend's Grip, but I think the draft enables Vega to snowball from winning the lanes. I'm not sure if they needed to dominate the lanes as hard as they did. I think that's more of an outplay.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Once they started outplaying them, with heroes like Disruptor on your team, you just like get kill after kill after kill, because the enemy team, you know, no one gets away. You kill one person, other people run away, you just glimpse them back.
Oh, Goblak is caught and taken care of here. Pasha's going to grab up that one for his Ember Spirit, and it continues now 5-23 here. Very poor Always Want to Fly, 0-6-0, still with only a wand and boots to his name. It's been a hard life.
I wonder if
CIS
it's the
Rejects
most.
will hold on.
I wonder if it's the most kills Vega Squadron's had at 15 minutes. I mean, it's a lot of kills to have at 15 minutes. I guess they're a team that makes lots of kills, so wouldn't be sure if that's a record or not. I'm sure Nox will tell me soon.
That's a wonderful question. We might have a stats man on hand to maybe help out, provide some information, and enlighten us if maybe it's, if not the top, one of the top early quarters of Vega's, you know, history.
Oh, there's gonna be a fight here.
This is a YOLO kind of a play here. They're committing on in. They're going to get the early kill on Disruptor. Does cost them the global for this, but oh my goodness, they have awakened the Sleepy Dragon. Sonic Wave going to be unleashed, and quickly, one by one, CIS Rejects crumble before the mighty power of Vega.
GG.
And that is it, Scant. We unfortunately missed more of the game than there actually was, and I feel bad for that, but nonetheless, it doesn't seem like there was a whole lot to see here.
I feel like artistically it kind of adds to the presentation. It's like this game wasn't really much of a game. Vega kind of stomped pretty hard. We saw right at the end the global silence. Wow, you killed a support. Well done. Just that pick just didn't work out at all. They got dominated in lanes, and after like a pretty contested game 1 and 2, game 3 is like a total stomp in the direction of Vega.
I didn't even get to see a Knoxville stat that game. He might have done it while I was gone or something, but unfortunately, because of the issues, it didn't work out. But Scant, hey Knoxville, thanks for joining though. I appreciate it. Your morale was there with me. You helped me get back. And Scant, can't thank you enough for stepping in and being my co-caster on such short notice. So shout out to him.
Welcome.
If you guys want to show Scant some love, please hit him up on his Twitter at ScantZor, that's with a Z, and I'm sure he can also hit you up in the chat, let you know. But wonderful performance again from Vega. We look forward to seeing more StarLadder action as the week continues. Be back here at the same time, same place for more coverage that's going to be coming up. I'm KotlGuy, and we'll see you next time for more Dota action.